J-Mart, will he smoke his old team, Star Racing? Hey everybody, Walty Wanderers, welcome to the channel. If you're new, I want to thank you for coming. If you're returning, I want to thank you for your continued support. Before we get into today's red hot topic, I'm going to politely ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Please watch to the end for my final thought. Hit the bell icon so you're notified when new videos are released. It's very important to stay close to the channel in these very, very crazy moto times. All right, folks, welcome to the channel. It's always an honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope you're all doing great. Buckle up and strap in. I got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows and sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. And friends, we got a good one to talk about today. Our good friend J-Mart. My gosh, J-Mart is gnarly. We're going to talk a little bit about what that guy's been through. But really the big story here is, friends, is typically when you get onto a satellite team, which club is a satellite team. They're not a factory team. I'm sure they've got one of the best programs of all satellite teams. But the reality is Star Racing is now the new pro circuit. Star Racing is the premier. I mean, they're insane. Star Racing has so many riders for so long. Back when I was working in the industry, pro circuit, Kawasaki, Mitch Payton. Nobody could match those guys. They were sweeping the podium constantly. They were smoking everybody. That's where all the big stars, Ricky, Poto, McGrath, they all went through pro circuit. That's where they started. Even back in the king of Supercross, McGrath. Back then, I think it was Peak Honda, which was actually pro circuit Peak Honda. Peak Antifreeze was the title sponsor of Pro Circuit. Now Pro Circuit's monster. But Star Racing is kind of smoking everybody right now. That's just the reality. Now, Jet Lawrence kind of threw a little wrench in the old 250 program for Star, but eventually he's moving up to the 450s. I don't know who's going to drop it. I don't know who they plan on. Honda thinks they're going to put on the 250. I know we got some up-and-coming guys through Combine or Loretta's or whatever that are showing some promise, but nothing like Jet. Once Jet's out of the 250s, Star is probably back in control of this thing. But who knows? Anyway, today we're going to talk about J-Mart. J-Mart's as gnarly as Kit Roxon for me, and I'll tell you why. See, in this sport, friends, it's not if you're going to get hurt, it's when and how bad. Will it be career-ending? And J-Mart had a gnarly crash, back surgery. He was out, we remember, for like a year. Like he's done. And nobody could blame the guy. He went to work at some local moto shop, basically just sweeping floors and stocking shelves. He's like, I just want to work in the industry. Love J-Mart because he's a very blue-collar guy. I see a lot of these other guys, I won't mention their names because it's not really important, driving their Teslas to the track, and mainly these pro circuit guys. And they're all flashy. In fact, that's a whole separate. We got to talk about like Faulkner. We got to talk about McAdoo. We got to talk about even Smokin' Joe Shimoda. Young guys getting a lot of money. J-Mart is a veteran. He ended up on Club MX. And let me just tell you, if you're J-Mart's, these guys all have agents. And when you're negotiating contracts for your rider, there are all kinds of performance-based incentives. The teams require that. Why? Because if you just write J-Mart a contract for $1 million to come ride the bike, that's what happened to a lot of these other riders. If you don't have performance incentives there, the teams are worried that you might just sandbag. You're like, I got my payday. I'm good. I'm just going to go out there and ride. I don't want to get hurt. But if you have, that's why you always hear guys like even Dean Wilson, I just want to be in the top 10. Why do you think Dean Wilson wanted a top 10 finish? Well, for one, when you're on television, they show the top 10. You got to crack the top 10. But also, if I'm his agent, he's got a performance incentive that says he gets this much for a top 10, this much for a top 5, this much for a podium, and this much for a win. So if you know Dean Wilson's not going to win a race, you're going for top 10 performance incentives. That's why he wants top 10s. And congratulations to Dean Wilson. I love the guy. I think he's awesome. He's not taking everything so seriously. Just like El Hombre. Love that guy too. He's a down-to-earth dude. J-Mart's a down-to-earth dude. I am cheering for J-Mart because anytime you have a veteran step out of the factory realm, and I know he hasn't meshed well, and it's probably more him than the teams. You got to understand the dynamic. He's just a blue-collar guy. He's not into the politics. Either am I. That's why I'm here blowing the lid off of this stuff for you guys, because that's what you deserve. Other channels aren't doing it. other channels aren't doing, at least the ones I'm seeing. And I love all the other channels out there. I love them all. From Bubba's channel to Pulp to Vital to Hopper. I love all, and I'm just scratching the surface. So I watch it all. I watch it all. I pull from it. Iron sharpens iron. I get a lot from these other channels. It helps me communicate my message to you guys. But what I'm seeing right now out of J-Mart, friends, he's a veteran. He's been through a massive injury. He's stepping onto a satellite team right now. And I don't know. I think in his contract, there's probably a lot of performance-based incentives. Could he go out there and win a championship? Possibly. But my guess is that it's a long shot at this point. If I'm him, I'm putting if I'm his agent rather, I'm putting performance-based incentives in his contract for podiums. I think the dude is not worried about wins and titles at this point. He knows he's on a satellite team. He's looking at, if you can put Club MX on the podium on a regular basis and maybe get lucky and be in a title fight, that would be huge. Unfortunately for J-Mart, injuries have plagued his career. And this is an injury-driven sport. There's a really good chance we could see that happen again. But with age comes wisdom. I think he's going to ride within his capability, see where the dust settles, and take his finishes as they come. If he finds himself fighting for a win, I think as a racer, and you guys know if you ride, as a racer, if you're in a position to go for the win, you're probably going to risk a little more for it, right? So we could see that. It's going to be awesome. Like I said, I'm really cheering for J-Mart. I think he has what it takes. In final thoughts, I come to you as an ex-industry guy. Somebody's cheering for riders just like you, but blowing the lid off the industry in ways that others aren't. I believe J-Mart is basically not looking to win any titles. He just wants to have a good finish for Club and end his career in the way he wants to. He doesn't want to play the politics with these factory teams anymore that are overlooking him for whoever's the latest flavor of the day up and coming. But I believe if we see J-Mart come out and smoke the factory guys, including his old team, Star Racing, it's going to be absolutely huge, and I can't wait to report on it. If you appreciate the content, I do want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, another video is going to be in your screen at this time, along with an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go keep it pinned today. I'll see you on the next video.
And hang on. So, really flat takeoff. He comes up short. Just ragdolls, and notice he's on the takeoff to the triple jump. Right here, he just gets flung over. Tough blocks, bounces him up, and he lands right on the tough blocks. And notice some other riders coming through on the takeoff of that triple. He managed to just run right out of it.